Jan, and welcome, Mikhail. How are we?
Hello, I'm fine. Uh, I can say that I am very grateful to the English Chess Federation for this event. I already played a number of games and will play more. I want to score at least 100 points. Tournament points. And of course, thank you very much for invitation to this stream. Before you ask me anything, let me please tell something because what I consider the most important. I can say that I am a grandmaster from Odessa, Ukraine, who stays in Odessa or Odessa, for that matter. I was thinking what to say today, this stream, and I understood that it's difficult to say anything new because people are very tired. I think in all the world with this war, and in the last half of year, not much happened with the front line. But so there are no hot news. But the war in itself is very hot, nevertheless, and people are dying all the time. I can say that quite many people whom I knew unfortunately died. So everything is very tense. And about tiredness, I can say that I'm also tired to ask people about support, because when people ask personally about support, please support Ukraine or something, they may feel this kind of pressure. So I'm a bit also tired of asking people, and without asking, people are helping less. So that's also why I'm very grateful for this idea. And I invite all the chess players, Western chess players, English chess players, British chess players to support Ukraine. And I think the ways of supporting Ukraine are well established. But also people can ask me, or for example, Grandmaster Ilyanov on Twitter, or Grandmaster Ruslan Ponomaryov on Twitter, if there are any doubts how to help. And also I should say that help is still very important. And generally, participation of volunteers in this war on Ukrainian side is no less important than what state is doing. Because our state is not the most efficient state ever. And basically, what volunteers are doing is critical for humanitarian and military spheres, yeah? So I'm contacting with volunteers in Odessa from the very beginning. So thank you for this invitation. And the most critical, I think, what I can say is that help is really needed. It's important. We are in war with a bloody, merciless, crazy, and insane enemy, and nothing is decided. And this war is right war for Ukraine and for countries who support us. So we can speak about this in more detail if there are any questions. So please help Ukraine. We need it, even if you don't ask. Even if I don't write on Twitter every day, it doesn't mean that help is not needed for us. It needs very, very much. It's needed.
Well, thank you very much, Mikhail, for joining the stream as well, and coming on. And it's great to have you on here because we want to do our part as much as we can do. And if you are watching and you're thinking, how can I actually donate? How can I help? So the whole part of this stream, the whole part of this tournament is to raise money for the British Red Cross.
Yes.
Crisis.
Yeah. By the way, you remember when we spoke, I think yesterday, I mentioned that the Red Cross in Ukraine had been attacked by Russian missiles. You know this story?
Yeah.
So, of course, Red Cross is a world famous organization, and what they are doing is indeed important, and indeed it's a good way of supporting Ukraine. No doubt. Absolutely, and thanks to the Red Cross, British Red Cross, and Ukrainian Red Cross, perhaps also taking part. Indeed.
Yeah, no, thank you. And Mikhail, did you say that you're in Odessa at the moment? Is that right? In Odessa?
Sorry?
Are you in Odessa at the moment?
Yeah, I'm in Odessa. Okay, is Odessa or Odessa? Odessa is Ukrainized version, but both versions are correct because Odessa is double S is also it's also okay with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here all the time, and I only I mean since the beginning of big war, only we left for 2 days to play in Kiev rapid chess tournament. It was huge effort for me. Okay, I can tell a bit about myself. Well, I think that me, I, and my wife, and hopefully as well, are people who were affected less than anyone than any other people. Well, because of lifestyle, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, I had stroke in 2019, so I'm not living every day. So when the COVID started, it was a little stress, but I was mainly staying at home anyway. And when the war started, it was a huge stress. But anyway, I was continuing to do more or less the same things, and it's really nothing. It's no trouble at all in comparison what people are experiencing in our country. Of course, when we travel to Kiev, we spoke with men who was from Mariupol. Mariupol is a city big city, which was captured eventually by Russians, was generally destroyed almost completely, and he was hiding for weeks. And of course, in comparison, what such people experienced, all our programs of our family is just nothing. But indeed, of course, the war affects all Ukrainian society, all aspects of our life. What to do? It's our war is our life now. That's what to do. It was not our choice, I think. And also important, maybe, at least important to me to say this, that despite all the terrible things, Ukraine doesn't want ceasefire now. Absolutely not, because we cannot afford Putin to get out with the territories he occupied, at least since 24th February 2022. So I literally don't know anyone in Ukraine who wants ceasefire now and to stop, let's say, to stop fighting now and to make a kind of peace now. No. I mean, it's absolute. It's I even can say that it's unpopular idea in Ukraine. And my cycle is not the most radical people in Ukraine, believe me. Maybe it's rather liberal people around me, but anyway, no one wants to give Putin to present territories to Putin. No, we want to take back much, and if possible, everything what he got since 2014. But anyway, it's out of questions. It's out of questions. How to say?
I mean, it's like
yeah,
they've taken your land, and you just want to take it back, and then go from there. But Mikhail, I guess one of the key things that I'd kind of like to know from yourself, and obviously extremely sorry for your losses, by the way, as many as they've been, and sorry to hear you've lost many friends and whatnot. But it must be, I can't possibly imagine what you've been through over the past year and so many months. It's just truly horrific. And obviously we've got people that have come over from Ukraine to our country in the UK, England and Wales. And
I know. I'm very grateful.
But you've also got people still living there, haven't you? And you're still living there at the moment.
Yeah, UK is one of countries which are most supportive. And of course, we are very grateful to UK and to Johnson and to Mori Prime Minister.
Current Prime Minister. I'll pass the message on when I see him tomorrow.
That's right, yeah.
So what's life like there at the moment? Have you got to some sort of normality, or what is it? What is have you got how's food for you? How's running water, electricity? I know might have been a problem because
I can tell that in Odessa currently we don't have serious problems. Only sometimes the Russian missile attacks and to our region and some let's say individual people unfortunately are dying, but we let's say we adapted to it as much as possible to such circumstances, because in the beginning last year when there was air raid, all people were hiding. Now basically we are doing nothing because, well, it's a risk, but the risk is not much. People are risking also by walking on the street and even more so by driving car. So we are not how to say hiding. Of course, in let's say organizations like schools and so on, and maybe in some military connected organizations, people are hiding in shelters. So, but most of people are doing nothing, and when we hear a raid, we are just doing what we did, and of course we have now electricity, everything, the internet, and basically Odessa. Well, Odessa is one of the largest cities in Ukraine. We had, of course, much problems with electricity and everything, but as of now, it's quite calm by Ukrainian standards, by today's Ukrainian standards, and we have generally everything. So let's say, technically speaking, it's much easier than it was in winter.
Well, I tell you what, Mikhail, I mean, thanks very much for that quite comprehensive review. And there's some things I want to pick up on with you as well. But I'm sure
I'm ready to speak about chess if you have any.
Well, I'll let Johan interview about chess as well in a second, and we can maybe even have a look at some of your Ukrainian players. But just a massive thank you to Chess Bay, who's just donated £500. If you just heard Mikhail talking there about how they've suffered. I mean, he's talking there about the air raid siren going off, which is where a potential missile attack that could potentially kill people. You ignore it now because you're so used to it in some ways.
Yeah.
What you're saying, and the fact that that's normalized is so wrong. That it shouldn't have to happen. And you mentioned you're in Odessa, which has been a little bit.
I can tell something because, one of things, not things, but one of let's say. The most special things about Odessa is that we had, in the past, we had really huge Jewish community here. And, of course, Odessa culture is specifically known for that. And many things can be said, but also fact of life that many former Odessa citizens moved to Israel. So people in Odessa knows very well how people in Israel are living, and it's well known that they should be ready for the missile attack at any moment. And I don't want to speak about Middle East politics now, but I just say that technically it's very understandable for us that even in the modern world, it's unfortunately it happens to live under such a situation, under such circumstances that you can be attacked by missiles at any moment. So we understand this.
And just
maybe experience of our let's say, friends and people from Israel helped us to understand that we have to cope with it. Yeah? How to say it.
Well, just in case you want to donate and you're thinking, trying to help the humanitarian aid, that's going into Ukraine. Obviously, places like Odessa, but also places that have been hit even harder as well. You can donate if you're watching on Twitch. Just click about and scroll down. You can see the Tiltify page there, and you can pay by PayPal or credit card and put your money in that way. If you feel like playing in the tournament, you're still welcome to play. And we've currently got 489 players. I'd love to get that up to 500 as well. And that's the whole part of this tournament, the whole reason why we're doing this stream as well, to cover it, just to raise money for the British Red Cross Ukraine Crisis Appeal, and to help with those people that haven't got clean water to drink, food parcels, somewhere to sleep. These people have been moved around. I think there's millions of people that have lost their homes and have been had to displace, and it's still ongoing now all the time. So yeah, very, very sad to hear what Mikhail's reporting there as well and talking to us about. But I'm sure you want to dig into some chess now, Mikhail. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm ready. If you have any chess connected questions, or I can try to comment on the game which you.
I'm sure. Well, do you know who this guy Tushinsky is? He's currently in.
I know the name. Honestly, I don't remember well, but I know the name. Is he fighting for the first place?
Well, I don't think he's going to get first. I think Keith Arkell's going to get first. Because I don't think he can be caught. He hasn't slept. He was on at 5 o'clock yesterday starting. It's currently just gone past midday today. So we've been going I'm losing track now.
But to fight for the first, to be able to fight for the first place in such tournament, really incredible number of games has to be played, hundreds. I think last year I played maybe 75 games, so I'm afraid to be wrong. But of course, I was not even near. It was not my goal. In this tournament, which is going on now, I want to play for some hours. I wanted, and I played already, and I will play for some more hours. But of course, I do to play 200 games, for example, can be too much. No, so I'm envious maybe. Some people love to play so much.
I played in one of these 24-hour things on light chess, just one, my eyes actually started bleeding in the last 2 hours. And it took as in I was up for nearly the entire time. The only break I took in the 24 hours was to do 4 hours of childcare. So I didn't sleep.
Please tell me who is playing this game, which I see on the screen. Who are playing?
This is Tushinsky is white against Ramin guy who's in the chat. Your guy is the Ukrainian guy is white here.
Okay, white is clearly better. Strong pressure, strategically. Yeah, e5 square is important. So I predict white will win. Okay, now white took with the pawn, but now other advantages. Queen can go to g3 and g6. I'm not a streamer. It's not my... queen f7 even more. So black... knight h7 maybe is what black should do, but strategically black is lost. But in blitz, many things can happen.
d4 here?
Sorry?
d4 by black?
Knight h7 was forced, I think. Because after knight d7, there was queen f7, yeah? So white wants queen g6 anyway. Black still can try knight f8. But the position looks more or less dead. If white plays precisely, it's of course completely winning, but well, in blitz there is always opportunity to spoil a game. So white knight f8 was forced because queen g6 otherwise would have been winning. Well, knight f3, maybe queen f7 now. A crazy move can be tried. Otherwise, white can play knight h4 or knight d4. Yeah, knight d4 is also good. So white wants to play strategically. Okay, now black defensive setup. So it's kind of position which is strategically winning, but needs quite much effort. By standards of blitz to to win this position because black can protect
I think you can
many.
play rook takes
Okay,
f8
rook
now,
f6
Rook
maybe.
takes f8.
Maybe rook f6 and with idea of rook h6. I don't know why white is not playing rook f6. I don't see actually many good ideas for black after that.
I think if you take f8, it's just over, yeah.
Sorry? Yeah, now rook f6 should be crushing. But black still can play some h5 move. I don't know. Queen g5 maybe. It's just, let's say it's domination, example of domination. People, many chess players knows, Nimzovich strategic theory, and this is domination, let's say, according to Nimzovich theory. This blockading knight on d4, white has a good bishop, black has bad bishop. Also, white controls f-file, so white has all kind of strategic advantages, Queen a7, king h1, okay, why not? Rook f1 maybe.
Sorry, just quickly. What you mentioned there that you were playing a rapid play chess event. Was that within the past year?
You mean sorry, last year? What I said?
What's happened to over the board chess? Obviously for you in this past year.
Well. Yeah, we have not many tournaments in Ukraine. But this tournament was special because you can be surprised if you didn't hear this, but the tournament was organized in Anfield pub. It's a pub in Kiev, in the Ukrainian capital, pub of the Liverpool football club fans. It's absolutely atypical place in Ukraine. We don't really have many places like that. So that's why it was also very funny for me. And the owner of the Anfield pub was the main sponsor. So it was nicely organized tournament. I reported actually for Chessbase.com about this tournament, and a bit later I wrote also a blog at chess.com with more material, photos. So maybe just for maybe there are some Liverpool football club fans, I believe should be among our listeners, so they can check my reports and photos from the Kiev Anfield pub, and it's very good that they continue tournaments in Kiev. In this pub, they started more tournaments this year, because the first tournament where I played was last year in September, but this year they organized it more, and it's extremely nice. But by the way, my city is not close to Kiev; it's like 500 kilometers, and it was somehow first tournament for me in Kiev in 25 years.
Wow. So have you been playing in, like, what was before it all happened? Was the regular chess tournaments going all the time? How much were you playing over the board chess in Odessa?
Maybe I must repeat that I had stroke in 2019. It was not shortly, but some weeks after my last long control tournaments, and generally maybe I will not play long control tournaments, so I played not many really rated events. Okay, I'm 52 now, so it's not necessary. In 2020, I played 2 Blitz tournaments. In 2021, I played none generally, and last year I played Kiev repeat, and I played 2 unrated but quite strong Blitz tournaments in my city, and that's all. I'm playing online Tightweight Tuesday. Tightweight Tuesday is a chess I'm normally playing now. And of course, as I'm working as an online coach, I'm playing against many of my students.
So is the online kind of arena kind of helping you get your chess fix, shall we say?
Yeah, but Tightweight Tuesday is what I like. It's a tournament where I like. Arena format is a bit, how to say, well, I think Swiss system is more serious, but for this event, indeed, arena is the best. So I mean, of course, it's good that players can play just a few games and be participants. But okay, it's funny. It's funny, and yeah, I'm sure for 24 hours long blitz arena is the best option.
Well, we have the person in
Getting
fourth
close
place.
now at the top, isn't it? With the second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, they're very close at the moment, and this Brandon Clark is currently trying to chase them down to get second from your guy Toshinsky and.
Sorry, I don't see very well standings. Who is leading?
So leading's Keith Arkle. Looks like nobody's going to catch him if he keeps playing. He's on a 19-game winning streak, by the way. He's on 684 points. In second place is Chess Fiction, which I think we know is Matthew Dignam. He's on 558 points. In third place, we've got your Ukrainian guy. He's Vladimir Tushinsky. He's on 555 points. So there's only 3 points separating second and third. But then lurking behind in fourth place is Brandon Clark. He's only 30 points behind. He's got 526 points. And he's closing fast. I think that gap was 50. It's now come down to about 30 points, 25 points. So I think Brandon is really chasing
him down. Left.
Okay, perhaps I can thank you again for invitation. And if my chess comments are not needed, I will be glad to leave. Our conversation and to play some more games.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we're just looking to hear from you about what's going on in Ukraine and as well. I mean, obviously you're an expert chess player.
Today we will have family meeting, but family and friends, and most of people are chess players in my circle, even if not professional, of course. But anyway, so I will play and show to my friends your event. I will play, and we will organize also our small family event with a big screen, like Anfield Pub, but only chess.
Wow.
Okay,
so you're gonna have my face on big screen. Is that right?
I wish, it will be big screen. I wish all the success to the event. Thank you once again for your efforts and invitation, and many thanks for helping Ukraine. It's really important.
Thank you very much, Mikhail. Thank you.
Thank you.
Indeed. And yeah, if you've just been listening to that, that's Grandmaster mikhail-golubev, Ukrainian Grandmaster, currently still in Ukraine. Just kind of letting you know what life is like over there and how he's kind of coping and by playing online chess and really liking playing in this event. And you can see just how many Ukrainians have played. They haven't stayed awake for 24 hours, although Toshinsky might have done, currently battling for second and third place from Chess Fiction. But we're currently looking at Brandon Clark against Praf Poisson, who I think I might know.